everyone, my name is Josie and I'm your host. This is the Josie Show, Gaming from Scratch. It is so good to be back, so good to see everybody. I know that we've had an incredible season talking to tons of amazing people, and although this is the close, hopefully it's not the last. So on my show, we have done a podcast style where I have been interviewing and talking to different gamers of all lifestyles, different genders, different ages, different beginnings. Some people were pro, they wanted to go be professional gamers. Some people wanted to be content creators. Some people had hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok. Some people were popping on Instagram. We had all different kinds of people. It was so incredible. Some of the people that I spoke to on the show were people that I knew, and some people I had met on this show. So it's really been incredible to see and talk to all different people and hear their stories and where they came from. So in my very first episode, we started with Nader Zafar, who is my significant other. We were college sweethearts, and he is actually the reason why I got started into gaming. He's been gaming since he was a kid. His dad was a gamer, and all of our college friends also were gamers. So the reason why my show, Gaming from Scratch, is called Gaming from Scratch is because I was 24 years old when I had my first legit gaming experience as a gamer. When I was a kid, I did mess around with, we did the Wii games, I had Nintendo, so I'm not totally unfamiliar, but I never considered myself a gamer, and nobody else would have considered me a gamer as well. And so growing up, I remember my friend and we did play like this Nancy Drew mystery game, and that was so much fun. I used to stay up trying to think of how to do it. I would go online and look at the next steps if we couldn't. I love Nancy Drew. I loved Webkins. I don't know if that's considered a game or not, but I loved Webkins. That was super fun for me. I would get them for Christmas when I was a kid, and it just was like the best Christmas gift. I would go and add them to their rooms, and that was fun for me. So again, not really considered a gamer. And I think one time I remember playing with my friend, her brother had Halo. I have an older sister, and I think between the two of us, I was the most into games, which is not saying much. So when I came to college and I met my boyfriend and he was a big gamer, I didn't want to be the girlfriend that said, you're spending too much time with your friends, I want you to stop gaming. Even though a part of me wanted to. I'm not gonna lie, a big part of me wanted to sometimes, just because I didn't understand it. And I felt like he was spending so much time on something else, and I didn't get it. I'm a big TV person. I love my movies, I love my TV shows, but it still was so different for me to see that. And so I thought, okay, I'll give this a shot. All of our friends had an extra room in the house that they were living in when they were, I think, juniors or sophomores in college. And so I was always surrounded by 4 or 5 guys on their computers. They'd either be playing together certain games or playing separately. Sometimes 2 would play together, sometimes they wouldn't. And one of the girlfriends, who was my friend at the time, there was a game called PUBG, which is a battle royale where you come out and it's a lot like the Hunger Games. So you land and then you have to get loot and kill people, and whoever ends up last is the winner. And when you kill people, you can take their loot. That's just the best way to describe it. Some guns are better than others. It's very random on what you land on, but it's a fight to the end. It's a battle royale. And so because this girl and we didn't really know what we were doing, we just had so much fun with it. We would watch the guys, we'd participate a little bit. I eased into it, and so I'd see them play and I'd say, I want to pick where you drop. That was really easy for me. And my boyfriend was really great about always bringing me in, especially if he'd been gaming for a very long time and wanted to include me. So that was my first experience with a official game on PC playing myself. And now, after a little bit, I didn't realize how much energy and how much storage you needed for gaming. So you have to have a gaming PC, or you have to have an Xbox if you're a controller. So if you're a controller, you have to have a specific platform to play on. And if you're PC, then you need a strong enough computer, because games take up a lot of memory. It takes a lot to run on your computer. So that's why I would use my boyfriend's. And so then now I started doing digital marketing, and I needed a powerful computer, and I was a freelancer, so I could use my new computer as a write-off, which is exactly what I did. And I was able to get a computer that was strong enough to hold these games. Apex had come out, and it was somewhat similar to PUBG and about the battle royale where you land, you have a team, and you work together to try to win at the end. And it was more colorful. PUBG, if you don't know what that is, PUBG is more realistic. It's more like a COD vibe, but or Call of Duty. And Apex is a bit more fun characters, like a Valorant type of game, or Overwatch. I would say it's not, the games aren't similar, but the characters, the legends, and the abilities, it's a little bit more cartoony as opposed to more real time, like a Call of Duty or PUBG. It's more fast paced too. PUBG, you could kind of mess around, like you could drive around in cars until you were the last one. But for Apex, you couldn't really do that because there were so many people. But PUBG was more intense because it was almost like a horror film. I swear, all first person shooter games feel like horror games. I would sit there and out of nowhere, you'd be going for 20 minutes straight, just running around the map. You wouldn't see anybody, and you'd be picking up loot, maybe see somebody or hear a car go by, but you wouldn't see anybody. And then all of a sudden you just get sniped in the head and you're like, where did this come from? I don't know. So yeah, Apex was more fun. It was more fast paced. It was kind of like sink or swim. And my boyfriend was an Apex Predator, which is the highest rank that you can be. And he told me, or when I was in the games with him, because he would practice with me, I was also in the Apex Predators lobbies. So I was in the hardest lobbies that you could possibly be in, which I don't think people understand how challenging that is. M and keyboard is a lot more technical than console, I would argue. Some console players would say no, there's a huge argument between both of those sides. But I was mouse and keyboard, I was trying to learn the game, and I was in the hardest lobbies you could possibly play. And I almost was brought to tears because I was so stressed out. And I was like, am I really just this bad? It felt hopeless. I would play over and over and just die instantly. I couldn't even, I had no shot. There was no chance for me. And then I ended up playing by myself because I wanted to practice. I am very competitive. I'm very driven. And so when I was so bad, I was going to do anything that I could to at least be able to keep up with the guys. So I would start landing by myself. And then I realized how much easier it was to land with other people. The reason being is because it was my lobbies. It wasn't me being put in a harder lobby. When you're solo queuing and you drop down with a team, then that puts you together. But if you're already with a team and then you go into the game, that's when they put you at the highest level, just to keep things fair. Because if you put a Predator or the highest level person in like a noob game, then they're going to just be wrecking the lobby. The experience isn't fair. It's just not fair. And then when I was playing with these random people, I was like, this is so much easier. Oh my gosh, I can actually breathe. I have a second to myself, because it was all the newer players just like me. It wasn't the Apex Predators. And I also use my mic. Not a lot of people are open to using their mics the way that I did, but I wanted to meet friends. It was the pandemic, and I had seen other people, and it's a team game, so you have to call shots, right? So I would use my mic, and I met some very incredible people. When the game first came out, it was one of the most wholesome and incredible group of people, I would say. I was very lucky. A lot of people were surprised. They would say, did you seriously not have anyone toxic? I'm so surprised. And I didn't. And my boyfriend was a streamer at the time, and I thought, I could do this. This is easy, right? I'm a girl. There's not many girls. That's your own niche. This should be easy for me. A lot of people have told me it's easy being a girl. And so I was like, okay, why not? I've been practicing games. I get to meet new people, might be able to get paid. And at the same time, like, why not? Let's just see what we can do. I do marketing, so I might be able to promote myself. And so I started streaming, and it was so scary. I have never been so nervous in my life to press go because of the unknown. You're putting yourself out there on the internet. You have no idea what this community is. I didn't grow up with it. I don't know technology very well. I was completely out of my element with so many people just accessible to me. It was very vulnerable. And so I had somebody come in, and I would try to talk to them and get the hang of it. And my Instagram got hacked the next day when I was asked from a random, what's your Instagram? And so I thought that, I was like, this is so weird. I don't know if there's any connection here, but my Instagram as a digital marketer was a big part of what I do. And I didn't want to have to start from scratch. So it scared me. And I thought, okay, I don't know if this is worth it. Maybe this isn't worth it. And then my boyfriend's really big on cybersecurity. It takes a lot for him to trust people. So he definitely, I asked him if this was normal or if I really did get hacked, and he said, no, I don't think that you did. I think it was just a coincidence. And for him to say that, I realized, okay, it probably was just a coincidence. So I tried it a few more times. I would say the first 3 times I clicked the live button, I was so anxious. My anxiety, I had adrenaline going. I'm trying to game, I'm talking to people, and I only had like a few viewers max, which is crazy because then when I had more viewers and I got used to it, I wasn't as anxious anymore. I think it was just the newness and being so out of my comfort zone. So I started gaming and streaming, and I had a schedule. I stuck to it, and then I wanted to keep taking it seriously because it was hard. I wasn't growing. I had maybe a few people watching me, and I would see other people on Twitch who had hundreds or thousands of people watching them all at once, even people who had 10 viewers. I was so jealous of, and I thought, how hard is it to get 10 viewers? But if you think about it like this, imagine 10 people walking into a room and all eyes are on you and they're all focused on what you're doing. That's a lot of people. Think about that for a second. That's a lot of people. So when you think about it like that, and also remember that too with socials, if you are trying to grow and you get frustrated because it seems like there's not many people, even if 100 people look at a TikTok, let's say, that's 100 people that saw you. 100 people, even if they didn't like it, they still saw you. You still got that exposure, which is more than most places can, and you just got to keep at it. So anyways, that was a lot of my journey, and the reason I wanted to share that was to explain where gaming from scratch came from, and because I interviewed so many other people and got to talk to them, but I never just sat and explained my story. So I thought this would be really good for the finale. I guess to end my story about how it all went, I streamed for over a year. I worked my butt off. I posted every day. I posted 3 times a day for a month on TikTok. I only went viral a couple times, but that's all I needed to grow my community. I had over 10,000 followers in less than a month, and I was constantly thinking of ideas. Every time that I would go on TikTok and even just watch videos, I would think, okay, is this related to my niche? How can I make this funny? Or how can I spend this in my way? I learned how to edit on Premiere Pro. So I take my streams and I'd edit my streams. I would follow trends. I would watch YouTube videos. I did everything that I could to try to grow. And after you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, you can go live. And so you can go, you're technically not supposed to if you're affiliate with Twitch, but a lot of people do it anyways, or they'll like move the camera a different angle because you just can't be, there's loopholes around it. I don't know how good it actually is, but I would stream my TikTok while I was streaming on Twitch. So people from TikTok could come over and see me on Twitch. And that was pretty helpful. It wasn't as helpful as I hoped that it would be, but it definitely added a couple viewers here and there. And if you can keep their attention and keep them there, then you have new viewers, which was great. And so I had those viewers come and I grew. And after about a year, I had some serious internet issues. I got very busy with my business. I even had a stalker, which was very interesting. And it just felt like I needed to take a break. I was also getting a little bit burnt out. I was getting frustrated because my viewers kept dropping, and I never thought that I would be somebody who cared about that. I just wanted to see how much I could grow. But I think that when you get in a space like that, you can't help but wonder, why are people not watching? Why are less people watching me? Am I not entertaining anymore? Am I old news? And it could be anything. It could be you. It could be something completely out of your control. It could be because school started, or the majority of your viewers are college kids and they've got exams or something. Who knows? But it can be tough. And also viewership fluctuates all the time. That's how to grow. But I felt like I was plateauing, and I was in the top 2% of all streamers, which I was very proud of. I worked very hard to get there, and I learned a lot. And so I have moved now. I'm in LA, and I'm still very focused on my business, but I plan on getting back to streaming. I do miss it. I will say that if you are not a gamer, then, and you're maybe thinking about it, just try getting into the community for a couple months, give it your best shot, talk to people, because I think that you will be so surprised, which I've talked about with other people on my show, just how many connections that you can build with people that you don't even know. I mean, be careful, stranger danger, of course. Don't just trust anybody. But I've met up with a couple of people that I've met online, and to this day, they're some of my absolute best friends, and I would do anything for them and vice versa. And some of them are across the country, some of them are across the world, and you root for each other, and you just find your tribe from around the world, and it's really beautiful. It's awesome, and you people to play with. On the same side, you also get some people who you think care about you, and then their actions say otherwise. But that happens in real life too. And I think that it's worth going through that experience as a whole in order to hopefully have some people who do come out incredible. And yeah, I'm very fortunate. I worked hard, and I'm proud of myself because I completely started from scratch. I didn't know anything about gaming. I didn't know anything about streaming. I did have a lot of support. My boyfriend was very helpful. My community was wonderful, and I just kept growing and growing it. And yeah, it's an experience that I'll never forget or never not appreciate. Another thing too that I've talked about, I had a mod on my, it's short for moderator, for those who don't know. It's somebody who controls or who has access to your chat, and they can do certain things. So if people are coming into your chat and they say something mean, then they can ban them. So they can act on behalf of you. And you have to give a lot of trust to this person because of what they're doing. So I found a mod who was at my rival college school. He went to my rival school, and we hit it off so well. And he showed up to every single one of my streams. I think he might have missed one out of the whole year that I streamed 3 times a week, and I'd stream for 4 or 5 hours. He was always there. I would have people who would come in, maybe say one rude or snarky comment. Well, not snarky, but rude or harassment of any kind. And I wouldn't even be able to look at the message because it was already deleted and the person was already kicked out. And I will never take that lightly, from the time and energy that was spent. And I didn't pay him. I wish I could have. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have paid. I don't know if he would have taken it, but such an incredible person. And I still can't believe how fortunate that I was to have a moderator that was so great, to have a community that would help me with my tech issues, to have a boyfriend who supported me and helped me, and me too with him, with his gaming. And it just was really great because we were able to all uplift each other, and I was able to help some other people in the community, and we would swap ideas with what was working for us, and we could raid other people, where if you have a viewership and then you're ending it for the day, you can send all your viewers over to them, or vice versa. So you could have like 20 extra people in your stream, and some people will follow, some people won't. Sometimes the numbers dip, but if you can keep their attention and then they keep coming back, then that's great. So yeah, I always ask everybody. So there's a couple questions where when I was interviewing people, I would ask people about their journey, right? Which is what I just shared with you. So I'd say, tell me from beginning to end, from when you were a kid, how your parents felt about it, how did you get started, everything. Do you have any advice for people? Which socials did you try on? What platforms are you on? You know, we got to hear everybody's story. And so I hope that for everybody who's been tuning in, they've learned a lot, and they've gotten to experience these incredible conversations along with me and everybody else. And just seeing that if you want to do something, I think the moral of the story, based off of all the information I've collected from the people that I've interviewed, is that if you want to do something, then just do it. The Nike swoosh, just do it. It can be challenging, but if it's something that you truly want to do, you will find out quickly. And if something's not working and you want it to work, then try different avenues. And if it's still so challenging, you have to ask yourself, is this something that you really want? And why do you want it? Is it because you want to make money? Is it because you want more friends? Is it because you want to be famous? What is it that you want? And there's no wrong answer, but ask yourself, is it really worth it to get here? Do I really care this much? Why do I care so much? How can I do something different? And how can I get help? I think being able to ask for help is huge, and also realizing that you have a lot more resources than you probably realize. There have been people who were streaming on their computers and they borrowed their friend's computer. And if you aren't a computer person, I'm telling you, having to lug a computer from room to room and plug it all in and then unplug it and move it back is not fun at all. And then it also leads to more tech issues, which can mess up your stream. So anyways, that's all I have to say. And I just want to thank everybody again so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys all next time. Titan TV, thank you for allowing me to be a content creator, a part of your team. I've had a wonderful time, met incredible people, and it's just been a great show. So hopefully we will see you guys next time or the time after, and everybody have a good one. Bye.